Greetings, friends. When Yosef Atzadik was dying, he told his brothers, Hashem will surely remember you to bring you out of Mitzrayim, ancient Egypt. And he used the double expression, Pakod Yifkod, which means surely remember. In fact, Yosef saw this as so important that he used the double expression twice. Why were these words so important? About 140 years after Yosef's death, Moshe Rabbeinu's mission began. By this time, the children of Israel were in deep slavery and suffering. In this time of darkness and confusion, how were they to know whether Moshe Rabbeinu's mission was real? Was he Hashem's prophet? After decades of dashed hopes, could they trust him? Moshe was given code words, Pakod Yifkod. At the burning bush, Hashem told Moshe to gather the elders of Israel and say to them, Pakod, Pakadati, I have surely remembered you. From these words, they would know the Redeemer had come. Because the tradition had been handed down through the generations that the Redeemer would say these words. In fact, only one person among Am Yisroel knew these code words, and that person was Serach Bas Asher, the granddaughter of Yaakov Avinu, who had been blessed by her grandfather with long life. And she was the oldest living member of Am Yisroel. She learned this code word from her father, Asher ben Yaakov, Asher the son of Yaakov Avinu. Exile is by nature dark, and the end of the Egyptian exile was deep darkness. Yaakov and the angel of Asa became coated with dust when they wrestled. As a result of the dust raised by their feet, this is the dust of exile, which obscures vision. The ninth plague was itself the plague of darkness. The final book, Parsha in the book of Bereshis of Genesis, is stuma, closed, meaning the usual separation between the parshios is lacking. Am Yisrael felt closed in by the impending slavery and suffering. Just before his death, Yaakov Avinu wished to reveal to his sons the date of the final redemption, meaning when Mashiach ben David will come. But the Shechina, the presence of God, was withdrawn from him, and he was unable to reveal this information. Why was Yaakov Avinu unable to reveal this? On a human level, I can understand. I'm not Yaakov Avinu, but I've had this experience many times. I'm about to say something, and it could be very important. When my mind goes blank, I forget what I wanted to say. People tell you, if it's important, you'll remember it. But that is not always true. Sometimes the thought leaves me forever. For what reason did God prevent Yaakov Avinu from revealing the date of the final redemption to his children? My friends, this has tremendous implications for our own days. I'm going to read you now from the Art Scroll commentary to the Medrash Bereshis Rabbah. Quote, the purpose of exile is that Jews should beseech God and implore him for their redemption. This will occur only if the date of redemption is unknown to them. If, however, the redemption were known, the Jews would settle down and make themselves comfortable in the land of their exile and lose their aspiration for the Messianic era. This happened in Mitzrayim, where they settled themselves too comfortably. They flourished and thrived because they knew their redemption was not imminent. Kli Yakar remarks that we still witness Jews feeling smug in the lands of our exile. They live there as if they were at home, with no thought of ever returning to Eretz Yisrael. And since they do not long for redemption and are content where they are, Hashem complies and allows the exile to endure. End of quote. There's a saying, famous saying, Maaseh Avos Siman Labanim. The actions of the fathers are a sign for the children. According to Rabbi Moshe Shapiro Zatzal, the era of Maaseh Avos Siman Labanim, the days which are a prototype for all future history, ended when Yaakov Avinu died. So Yaakov's death corresponds to the time just before the final redemption. If that is the case, then what happened at the end of Yaakov's life must be a sign for what will happen right before the final redemption. And what happened just before Yaakov Avinu's death? He forgot. The Shekhinah disappeared, so to speak, from his consciousness. His spiritual vision became clouded. This is a sign that at the very end of our exile, there will also be a moment of extreme forgetting, deep darkness and confusion, where it will seem as if the Shekhinah had been completely withdrawn. We will also have a loss of leadership. As it was when Yaakov Avinu left this world, it will seem as if we are completely alone without our patriarchs and matriarchs, the source of our blessings. And it will seem that we are without the presence of Hashem. This is precisely our situation now. It seems we are in utter darkness without leadership, without a trustworthy guide. the seemingly inexplicable forgetting by Yaakov Avinu is really a reassuring sign from heaven that we, his children, will one day experience the same forgetting. And that forgetting will itself be a sign of the imminent redemption. Maseh avos simon labanim, the actions of the fathers are signs for the children. We seem to be in complete darkness regarding the arrival of the Redeemer, but this is in fact our assurance that he is close. There are code words hidden away for us. May we hear them soon and see the great light of our long-awaited redemption. V'sechazena einenu b'shuvacha l'tzion. And may our eyes behold your return to Zion in compassion. Soon in our days, Be'ezus Hashem. Good Shabbos.